Now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, PUCL Podcast.
It's PUCL! PUCL! It's PUCL! PUCL! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PUCL! PUCL.
And welcome to the 474th episode of the PUCL Podcast. I am your host, Trainer Thatch, here today with my literate co-host, Dr. Shamu.
I can't read, though.
And Seth Vilo.
I've been faking it all this time. I'm just really good at guessing.
Really good at guessing what those shapes mean.
Exactly. Those symbols are funny. That's probably means Pikachu.
Welcome to the PUCL Podcast, the place where we talk about Pokemon every week. PUCL stands for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, a nonsensical name that I came up with in 2007, and these guys haven't told me to change yet, so that's where we're at. We talk everything from the video game to the trading card game.
We decided not to do that. It's probably not a good move to do that.
Nah, maybe in a couple more years.
Yeah, after this one's really solidified.
Well, when you just change one letter of an acronym, it's not that bad.
Oh, no. Oh, no. All right. And so, yeah, we're here today. We're having a good time. Happy New Year to those of you listening. This is the first show of 2021. Isn't that exciting? Yeah, things might get better. I haven't decided yet, but they might get better. We'll see. Yeah, but we're here, as always. We're going to talk to you some Pokemon. And I guess we could talk to everybody about what's been going on lately. I know what Shamu's been doing, but I'll let Shamu tell everybody what he's been doing.
Oh, we've been killing zombies.
We've been killing zombies.
Yeah, we've been
Oh, that's right. That's so fun to watch you guys do that.
The 7 days to die.
That game's surprisingly fun.
It is. It's a very addictive game. It's just like Minecraft, but not in a way. Like
it's Left 4 Dead, but Minecraft.
Okay.
Yeah, like if it might be like a modded Minecraft because there's a lot more things you can do in that than in Minecraft.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Yeah,
you can be there's a lot more jank. It's jank, but that's part of the charm.
It's jank because it's been in early release on Steam for 7 or 8 years.
It's still an alpha. It's like alpha 19.
Yeah,
like,
it's on alpha 19.
I'd expect it to hit beta at the very least, not still be an alpha.
There's so many things that are wrong with it. Like, you can build vehicles in it, right? And they have these things so you can, they have these modifier slots so you can, like, color things with dyes and make them different color. And so, like, on your weapons, that works just fine. But on the cars, they just haven't put it in there to, like, hey, put this
No,
hue
it
on
doesn't change the actual, like, car skin. But when you have it in your inventory, it changes the color.
What?
Yeah.
Because one of the motorcycles is dyed red, and when you put it into your inventory, it's actually just like a red motorcycle icon, but it's not actually red.
It's so dumb. Yeah, well, they haven't finished the game. It's an early access, okay? God, Seth.
For 7 years.
If anybody ever asked me, what do you think a game that's been stuck in early access for 7 years looks like, I would have described this game.
At this point, yeah.
I would have described this game.
We'll say that or Cyberpunk 2077, because God, it's not that.
Yikes.
Yikes, yeah. It's like, I finally been playing more of that to myself, and like, oh, I see why people were complaining about this. Okay. Yeah.
I've just been seeing YouTube.
I'd say Cyberpunk is in the same development stage as 7 Days to Die.
Yikes.
That's the sad part. That's the real sad part.
They just did the early access, but 7 years later.
I think like the one thing I've ran into the most is like, you remember old games where they've got like almost like the block faces? They're not like squares, but they're like polygonal. That happens way more than it should. Essentially, textures just don't load. It's like, walked into a diner, I just see a bunch of like, oh my god, am I like playing some point-to-click adventure? Like, what? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Nice.
Not and it's like, it's not like a quick like, boom, takes like a good 20 seconds.
Well, what about you, Seth? You been doing anything interesting with this new year? That's a whole almost 48 hours old.
I know, right? It's not a whole lot, really. It's been delightful doing nothing. I do finally have a mostly stable Skyrim VR installation. I actually managed to play for 2 hours straight yesterday. Happy New Year to myself. Before it finally crashed, just walking through a gate. I don't know what I did, but I mean, 2 hours in isn't bad.
You walk
That's
through
pretty
a gate.
good. I can finally go outside. I had a weird glitch where every time I tried to go outside, it just immediately crashed to desktop. I was so mad. And I ended up restarting that save. So starting from
that
the
sucks.
beginning, here we are. Oh well, though.
I saw that Shamu and Linian got him for Christmas as well, and so now it's making me want to do it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure my wife would get
Join
mad.
us. Join us.
I'm sure my wife would get mad.
I will
Maybe
teach
one
you the
day.
ways.
Maybe one day. I've got like a lot of other things I do. I don't know if I have time for
We
that.
could just do D&D in VR.
No. PTU in VR.
That was the thing that came up because 4 of us have VR headsets. in that
Sublime's the
group.
only one that does it, and he's the DM. What does it matter? He just tells us what to do. We walk around VR chat, and we're like, yo, we're gonna play Pokemon.
God.
God, that.
I'm thinking about it now because you guys are doing, and it looks like it's far more affordable now.
Yeah.
It's
for
not that
sure.
bad.
Especially with
Yeah.
the
It's
Quest
finally
stuff.
dropping.
The quest is really that's not bad. Yeah.
I think I'm waiting for like there to be a big title on it that's not Beat Saber.
Yeah. There's a couple ones, but the thing is, like, you can literally just get the headset for what, 300, and then use just the. Well, it's more still. It's like 400 because you got to get that cord or whatever to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
connect it to a PC. Which is again, I think it's like $80. It's ridiculously expensive, but I assume it's because of length. Maybe I don't know.
Length, and it has to be a fancy cord. It has to be powered, and it has to do all that kind of stuff so you don't lose frames.
Yeah,
Because
that's what
the
I
length of the
assumed.
cord does all sorts of crazy things. It's a very technical. It's not just a USB extension. It's
So what kind of like graphical processor do you need for that though? Or have they like lowered the barrier of entry on that?
nah, I don't exactly know.
Yeah, I don't know the details. I will say like the headset still looks fine. Like everything looks good, and like anything based on the headset looks.
Because like I don't have the world's best graphics card, and that's mostly because I play a tycoon game, and that's like Thatch's life. I'm just like, yeah, 2 Point Hospital looks really good right now, and I'm running on my 1060.
Yeah. There's a lot of the games that are self-contained on the headset, like Shamu said, so that's probably you'd
Yeah.
probably do okay enough.
Because like, there's a couple games they have on there, like, you would really only, like, want the cord if you're gonna do something, like, or, like, Beat Saber to mod it and, like, get songs imported and such.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I didn't buy that itself on the headset, because I would want to be able to do that. I don't
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to
Or
buy
games
every
through
single
Steam
song.
instead of the
Yeah.
in-store.
Yeah, I understand that. I'd have to see what games I'd want to play before I did it, because I'm sure my
Yeah.
wife would get into it, but then I don't think I'd ever be able to touch my computer again.
Well, that's when you get a couple things for that, too. And if you really want, you can... Well, the one thing I know I got was, like, a desktop simulator. Essentially, you just connect it to your computer, and you can just mess around with your desktop in VR.
Yep.
Okay, then I'll just put Game Capture HD for my Switch on that, and I'll just play Pokemon. I'll just do that.
You can literally put your game capture up and
Perfect.
put it onto your
Yeah.
VR and just do that. It's not like
I'll just sit at my
ground
desk
VR.
like an idiot with a VR headset on.
It's not really VR, but it's like you're looking at a piece of like you're looking at your screen in the VR. It's not like wrapping
It
around.
sounds such like a waste.
We could troll everybody and say Thatch plays Pokemon in VR, and it's just your screen reflected.
It's the stream, but all it is it's a camera on me with the VR
Yeah.
headset still on.
Stream it to Twitch.
Or that you could do that, or just have it like sitting next to you. Like you've got the thing running, it's just sitting next to you, not like.
Yeah. Oh god. Oh god. Okay. Well, that's a good place to stop. We got some news to talk about, so let's kick it on over to the news.
Coming to you live from the Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
And welcome to the news. The news has a few things in it. First of all, the thing that P. McGee is making me talk about is that this is a small milestone for us. This is the 14th year of PUCL. Woo!
Yay.
It's been too long.
And at some point this summer, I guess we hit episode 500. I haven't been keeping count. So I have not been keeping count. I think the idea for that is to like just have like a week of events for the 500th episode. And then the 500th episode is just a normal episode of the podcast. I'm being serious though, because I really dislike doing episodes on the I hate doing podcast episodes about the podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
there's
get
no
you.
need to do it.
I really hate doing that because it feels very egotistical.
Maybe we'll find a really good topic for it or something, but it's probably it's not going to be anything special. Other than maybe the topic will be something interesting. Who
Pokemon
knows?
Insurgents. I finally play a fan game. I finally play a fan game and review it. Yep, that's how you should feel, Seth.
We'll rate some fan games. We'll do 3 and compare them. I don't know.
Maybe we'll do something big like that. Like I said, I just really hate doing episodes about the podcast on the podcast because it feels very narcissistic. We used to do them in the past. And honestly, I think they're fun for the people who are there when we do them live and stuff like that. But I don't think they're fun for people who aren't there or aren't in the community. So just as a heads up of what's going through Thatch's head.
Maybe there'll be a stream or something to celebrate, but not that episode itself.
Yeah, I think if we do anything, maybe we'll do a charity stream or something big.
Maybe.
I'll have some good time.
We'll discuss. We've got about 6 months to go, and who knows what will happen.
Yes, about 6 months, and that is scary close.
Alternatively, we could just talk about Pokedex number 500 Embor the entire time.
That sounds like a terrible decision on a lot of levels.
I agree. Embor. Let's do it. Get scald.
It does get scald. Well, no, it doesn't get anything right now because it's not in the game.
It's not real.
It's not a real Pokemon. Embor's not real. All right, so the wild area has shifted to now promoting normal and dragon-type Pokemon, including both Gigantamax, Snorlax, and Duraludon. This will run until January 31st, unsurprisingly. Yeah, I like that they've been doing that. It's kind of nice if you've missed it, especially if you just got the game for Christmas.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's nice the event was being reran, which is good.
I still think missed opportunity to just trickle in Pokemon.
I'm just waiting for starters to be catchable.
Yeah.
Give us a catchable Grookey or something, or...
Dude, that was my favorite thing in Gen 6 in the Friend Safari was being able to catch both the Kalos starters and the Kanto starters.
That was cool.
In the Friend Safaris. I miss that. I also really like Gen 7's way of doing it too with the island scan.
Yeah. Oh, well.
I like that. Yeah. Seth is oh man, no, I'm sad.
Now I'm sad. Dang it.
All right. Tell us about the space stream that happened that was very uneventful, in my opinion.
It was uneventful, but it was cute. It was kind of nifty where they had Pikachu in the space station with the guy and they look out the window and there's Rayquaza out there. That was kind of cool.
Gen 3 confirmed.
I know. Again.
Again. It explains the ORAS DX thing all over again.
Yeah. We're in the prime timeline, not the mega timeline. Dang it. So anyway, in celebration of that, the Space Sunrise thing, everyone can receive a special Pikachu through mystery gift on the internet. It knows a couple cool moves. It's got Thunderbolt, Swift, Wish, and Celebrate, and it's holding a Comet Shard. It's kind of cute. Mm-hmm. You can get it through the 15th of January.
That's exciting.
The only special move is Celebrate, because Wish is an egg move, but it's still nice to get it.
Yeah.
Celebrate when Z crystals come back, so you can Z Celebrate.
Yeah, totally. Right? That's worth it on a Pikachu. Not
you have
an
extra max guard move now.
No.
Who needs Light Ball? I don't need my attack doubled.
No, you can just celebrate.
I can just celebrate.
Another thing that got released in Japan was Dada Zarude. No, that's technically illegal. So
yay!
It's also not any different than regular Zarude.
It's got a pink fabulous scarf. Okay.
It's got a cape.
It's got style.
So maybe if you're like me and never got your trainer newsletter,
yeah, right,
you could get it that. That's apparently been a problem too. A lot of people just didn't get their newsletter for December.
Yeah, me too. I'm included in that. I'm very upset about that.
Yeah, they aren't sending it out again anytime soon. So they just didn't send the newsletter. I didn't get one.
I'm very upset about that. We're gonna fix it.
Well, that one wasn't even data. That was just plain Zarude, if I remember right.
Yeah, no, it was just plain Zarude. But you probably also got the Ash Ketchum hat too with the code.
Well, you just need Zarude for that.
Do you just need Zarude for that?
I'm pretty sure you just need Zarude. You just show Zarude to someone and you get the hat.
Oh, perfect. Thank God.
You don't need the actual event one.
I can get a Zarude. I can make this happen.
There's a way to get Zarude.
I can make this happen. All right. In video game battling news, we'll call it news. Well, actually, this one's cool. Registration is now open for Players Cup 3 qualifiers, and they will be open until January 14th. The event runs the 15th through the 17th. I am signed up for it already. Heads up.
I was going to say if you weren't. And I was gonna
Watch out, kids.
Gonna give you some smack for it.
I did it, and I will be participating. I've been practicing pretty hard for it. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I'm gonna run. I've been practicing hard for it. Last time I was this hard into it, I did well at that regional, so maybe I could qualify. That's all I want to do. I just want to qualify. I don't need to win. I just want to qualify. That's all.
Yeah.
That way I can be maybe I'm okay at this game. Maybe I'm okay. That's all I want to know. But I got to like 1500 on the showdown ladder, so I haven't done that in a while, but I also haven't grinded ladder in a while either. So I don't know if that's because I'm understanding what I'm doing or I'm just dumb lucky. I thought 1500 was a semi-achievement.
You might need to get a bit more on that if comparing that, because 1500 I think is just like mid-range.
It's okay.
You know what? I'm okay with being mid-range.
It's not bad.
You see about 80% less memes.
I could probably make it to 16. If I pushed, I could probably make it to 16. We will see. Also, if you want, the next season of online ranked battle has begun, and we'll continue to use the Series 7 format, which is everything's legal except the box art stuff and mythicals. Series 8 is also expected to arrive next month, with whatever that entails. I'm hoping Series 8 is an exciting format, personally. I like Series 6 a lot, where they just banned the top X amount of Pokemon. A lot of people are also expecting Series 8 to be the GS Cup equivalent, where you can bring in like 1 or 2 legends. I think it's a little too early for that, personally.
I whenever I see like, oh, here's legends in the VGC format, like big legends, like, oh no.
I would be concerned if that's happening, because that would mean like a new generation's on the horizon as well.
That's usually, that's when they're like, we don't care anymore. Go at it.
Yeah, pretty much like, we want to destroy our meta.
That's like their like nuclear option, but like they're like, we're gonna launch the missiles. Click.
Yeah, I don't see that happening for a while. I see they also lengthened how long a series runs right now, because it used to be 2 months, and Series 7's going for 3 months. So I can see us getting, like, Series 8 could end up being like, hey, we banned the top 10 or whatever again for 3 months. And then Series 9 could be like, we went back. And then by that time, you're getting close-ish to whatever new game is coming out in November. Sigma and I were talking actually last night, and we discussed the possibility of Pokemon not being the Black Friday release this year for Switch, which would be an interesting concept, because Breath of the Wild 2 is on that horizon that, you know,
I was about to say, yeah.
Breath of the Wild 2 would be a better Black Friday game than Pokemon Shiny Diamond and Shiny Pearl.
Maybe they'll make them like Christmas games this year instead of Black Friday.
I would prefer it to be like an October release, personally.
Oh, I would too. I really do enjoy the September, October releases that we had, but I could just see them making it a Christmas thing if they really... It might be a little too soon. October might be a little too soon for them.
I don't disagree. Let's see, though. That is it for our battling news. Also, so I guess we're going to Pokemon Go, and it's short, and I like that.
Yeah, it'll be pretty quick. So there's a Unovan celebration going on between January 5th and 10th, and it'll have a lot of common Unovan Pokemon. It'll also have Burn Drive Genesect available in 5-star raids, and as soon as that's done, it'll be followed by a Sinnoh celebration. We don't know anything on Hoenn, Johto, or Kanto, so those might be on the horizon, but yeah, Unova and Sinnoh, hooray.
Woo!
I'm okay with that. They have to do something to get you all the Pokemon now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gotta get them cycled through every once in a while.
Yeah.
Let's take 5-10 minutes and talk about the Battle League.
No, stop. Why is that still happening?
I was trying to make a bit and you interrupted. Oh, you ruin everything.
I'm sorry. Just restart it.
And let's take 5-10 minutes to talk about the Go Battle League.
Awesome.
Although, if that's your thing too, there's Shiny Pikachu Libre, if you get to level 24 I think the chance to get a Shiny Pikachu Libre at the level 24 thing.
Like, when you get to level 24, you get an encounter, and the encounter can be a Pikachu Libre, but now it can be shiny.
Yeah,
Yay.
there you go.
Yeah, that's the thought process. There we go. Yeah. Wow. Excite. Much. Okay.
I'll take the next 8 minutes.
In PUCL news, I think everybody should be on the lookout. I think we're going to be starting up a new night for streaming. I've been doing Thursdays. I haven't done the past 2 Thursdays because, heads up, they've been holidays.
What?
I know. Well, holidays in quotes. It's Christmas Eve and then New Year's Eve. But so I didn't stream those 2 days, but I'll be back at it this Thursday, January 7th. I think we're also starting to do things on Tuesdays. I know Claude and P. McGee were going to try to do like a trivia night on the 5th or something like that. So definitely keep an eye on that. I think we're going to try to do a thing on Tuesdays where it's a rotation of co-hosts. So you still have content every Tuesday, but it's a different co-host doing it. And then the occasional Thatch. Oh. Boo, Thatch.
Something else I just realized was that.
I feel like that resonated with a lot of people. So on that note, we're going to kick it on over to PUCL's Pokey Quiz, where we're going to quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge.
Oh, hi, and welcome to the Pokey Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The host can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
And welcome to PUCL's Pokey Quiz. Thank you to Mark for reading that. I have been forgetting the past few weeks, but this segment is brought to you by AnimeGravy.com, your one-stop shop for all your nerdy art needs. You can go over there and use code PokeyQuiz for 20% off.
Ooh.
I know. So if you guys are ready to compete for your points, I think Shamu's going to win now. But
There's a chance.
the writing might be on the wall. We'll see. Maybe you guys just do really bad this week. I don't know.
Am I like at 23 or what's I at?
You're at 21.
20. Okay, so
So you won't win this week, but you are signed up for next week.
Nicely done.
No one was signed up. Well, I think
Dang.
Whimsicott was for next week, but then no one else was for like the rest of the
Yeah.
time. So
All right, so let's jump into it. Our first question this week is going to be from Skullmane Banky. What are the 2 Pokemon lines that tie for the largest base stat total increase in a single evolution?
Feebas and Milotic. And Magikarp and Gyarados. That's what I'm thinking.
Are those your final answers?
Any qualms?
no, because Gyarados got a huge bump in 2 stats too, and Milotic does the same. Like but I think Feebas and Magikarp have like the same base stats.
Yeah,
total
and
almost.
Milotic and Gyarados have the same base stats, just redistributed.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's your final answer?
Sure.
That is correct. Gyarados and Melodic lines with a total base stat increase of 340 when they evolve. Both Magikarp and Feebas have a base stat total of 200, and Gyarados and Melodic both have a base stat total of 540. That makes sense, though, because it's little tiny fishies that grow into something that's good.
Into serpentine things, as evolution do.
Yes. All right. We're going to get this next one from the Drunken Magby. What Pokemon yielded the highest possible score from the judges at the Pokemon bug catching contest in Heart Gold Soul Silver / Gold Silver?
Part of me wants to say Pinsir or Scyther.
It's one of those 2, I'm pretty sure.
Or was Heracross in there?
I know this answer, and
Go on, Thatch.
it's only because I've spent way too much time learning how the mechanics of the bug catching contest work to win it consistently. Because there's like one character that if they show up and they're like in the grass, you should just like automatically quit because your chance of winning is like 10%.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's Scyther, because I do remember someone always catching a Pinsir.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like one of those 2, and I like part of me thinking Beedrill too, but I don't think Beedrill's on that spectrum. I think it's Scyther and Pinsir. I just remember those 2 blatantly.
Yeah.
I'm kind of leaning towards Scyther, to be honest.
I would too, just because it's like they're trying to push evolving into Scizor. That's
Yeah,
my
that's a
in-brain
possibility, too.
justification.
Yeah, they came to mind as well.
It's either that or Heracross, so I think if we just go with
Heracross
Scizor, I
isn't
think
in there.
that's...
Heracross is only in the headbutt trees.
Oh, okay. I'm good with
So-
Scyther then.
All right, go with Scyther.
Scyther is correct. If you get max IVs on a level 14 Scyther, you will have your highest chance of winning the bug catching contest. Highest chance.
That's funny. It's a chance.
It is still a roll.
Wow.
Well, I think the roll might be based on the IVs, but I think even if you catch it, you optimize all of the circumstances, it's like 80% with the Scyther.
Wow.
It's dumb. Bug catching contest mechanics are dumb. All right, your next question is your Pokedex entry question, where you get 1 if you guys are riding the struggle bus. You get 2, and your points go down. But you guys are 2 for 2 right now.
Yay.
Our next question is going to be, there are too many McGee's, from G. McGee. Its Pokemon Ultra Sun entry reads, this troublesome Pokemon can't wait to evolve, so it relieves its stress by wildly propelling itself around using compressed gas. Who's that Pokemon?
It can't wait to evolve, so it just violently moves around using gas.
Gas. I know this. I feel like it's something with a shell that was surprising on how it has compressed gas for some reason, and Shelmet comes to mind for some reason. I don't think that's right, because they have to do weird things to evolve. Shelter?
No. So, What was the wording? It violently...
Wildly propelling itself around.
Wildly.
So I kind of think Shelmet because it evolved into a Celgor with the wildly moving around.
Yeah. It's not Carablast because that just walks around and...
Yeah. Shelmet does have those lips.
Yeah. I don't know how that plays into this.
All
but...
right, second Pokedex entry. That was its Ultra Sun entry. Its Pokemon Crystal entry reads, It will not stay still even while it's a pupa. It already has arms and legs under its solid shell.
I know what this is. This is Pupitar.
Oh.
That's what it is.
That sounds right.
Pupitar is correct.
I knew it was in my brain somewhere.
You guys are 3 for 3. This next set of questions are multi-answer questions because 2 double answers are really hard to come up with, apparently, for our listeners over on Discord. Both of the choices I have both have 8 answers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And because last week I gave Shamu the question with the Battlefront tier symbols, I'll give you the easier one.
Thank you.
There are 8 answers to these questions. I guess you've missed a point, so I'll let you go for 3 here. For the first 2 you get correct, I will give you 1 point. For the next 2, I will give you 1 point. And then if you get all 8, I will give you 3 points.
Okay.
In this question, you have to submit all 8 of them at the same time, and then we will grade your performance.
Okay, so we need to know all of them at once.
All right.
And so the question is, if a Pokemon were to have every type, what immunities would it have?
Oh,
God.
hang on. Let me open a note.
So, yeah.
Yeah, right? Right? These questions.
1, 2, 3,
the other
4,
one wasn't
5,
much
6,
better.
7,
It's not that hard, actually, I don't think.
Yeah. Psychic.
Psychic?
Poison. Ghost.
Normal.
Fighting.
Electric?
Dragon.
Right?
Electric.
Dragon. And ground? Do we say ground?
And ground.
Is that 8?
That's it.
Yeah, because that's more or less just saying, what are the...
What types have immunities? List them.
Yeah, that's the exact same question as that.
Yeah.
You know what? That is true. And all of those are correct.
It'd be like, what?
You guys
every
are
type
6 for
other than
4.
this. The
Yay.
weaknesses would be way harder.
Yeah, the weakness. That's what I thought you were going with, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to help that without having
The
type
weaknesses,
chart.
I think if they have all the types, I think the only weakness you have is rock.
I know that's at least one of them. I don't know if that's the only one.
I think it's only rock. But
Yeah.
that doesn't matter. That's not what we asked you. So, all right. So this next question is your base stat question, as always. You do still have the hint, and you have gotten every question correct.
By technicality. Cool.
By technicality. So this next one is from BAM! What ghost-type Pokemon has the highest base speed stat of all ghost-type Pokemon?
Mega Gengar comes to mind at 130.
Isn't Dragapult
No,
faster at 142?
No, we're stupid. 142 Dragapult and 150 for Spectrier / Calyrex
Spectrier,
Shadow Rider
yeah.
form.
Yeah. The Shadow Rider stuff.
Yeah, Shadow Rider, Spectrier.
Shadow
does it
Rider?
have-
Spectre? What do you mean by
No,
that? Do you mean...
Shadow Rider Calyrex.
Oh, okay. Is that your answer?
150. Anything else?
Calyrex would be faster than Spectrier, if anything.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean
or
that.
equivalent. But I can't think of anything else faster that's a ghost type. Gengar's not at, like...
Yeah,
it does
Mega
great.
Gengar's 130. Dragapult's 142.
Because Dragapult was the fastest ghost type, I think, until Calyrex.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because again, like, what the next thing above that is, like, stuff like Ninjask, Deoxys, like...
Regieleki. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Calyrex, Shadow Rider / Spectrier would be their final.
Yeah.
Unless Spectrier is lower. I don't think it is, but...
It's only one
Spectrier is
Pokemon.
130.
It is only one.
Oh, it is
Spectrier
only
is
one?
130.
Then it's Calyrex.
Yeah, Calyrex
Calyrex
Shadow
Shadow.
Rider.
Calyrex Shadow Rider is correct with a base speed of 150. Dragapult is in second with 142, and there's a 3-way tie between Mega Gengar, regular Gengar, and Spectrier at 130.
Regular Gengar is not 130.
Is not?
110.
Oh, never mind.
No.
Its special
it's lower.
attack is 130.
Never mind.
but
I
not
misread
speed.
this. You're correct. Okay, we're done. You got 8 points. Be happy. Celebrate.
Yeet.
It won't matter for you next week, Seth, but yeah. You got 8 points.
Yay.
Unless Whimsicott really holds Shamu back next week.
What are you at now next week? 29?
29.
Shamu, is that?
So in first place, we have Shamu with 29 points. In second place, we have Whimsicott with 21. In third place, we have Seth with 19. In fourth
Yay.
is a two-way tie between Linian and P. McKee with and Sigma. It's a three-way tie with 14 points. In seventh, it's Claude9 with 13 points. In eighth, it's Jushiro with 11. In ninth, it's Sublime with 6. And in 10th, it's Basket with Nilch. So tune in next week to see if Shamu can cross the finish line. Send in really hard trivia questions. He only needs one. So
I just need one. Yeah, that's true. It's fair.
all right, on that note, we are going to call it quits on this, and we're going to kick it on over to the topic. And we have another iTunes review this week from Supercat GX. He says, godly 5 stars, best Pokemon podcast ever. Well, thank you for that, Supercat GX. If you want your review read on the show, just go ahead, drop it on iTunes or wherever you listen to the podcast. We really appreciate it. But until then, we're going on to the topic. And welcome to our topic today. Our topic today is all Pokemon games are created equal. That's not true, but all Pokemon games are good in their own ways.
Yeah.
This was inspired by an email that we got this week because I always ask you guys to send in emails that have nothing to do with the topic the previous week, and people typically don't. But when they do, and they are typically bangers because they're actually well thought out. This one came from, I believe, Tia2. Never mind, from Tia2. She wrote in like this really long email about Black and White not being like as good as people are hyping them up to be, because I don't want to be derogatory, but some person on YouTube, some YouTuber like went on about why it's not their favorite game and wrote an essay about it, about like how ideals and truths are so abstract and it's really hard to talk about, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
I'm not saying that's like the best topic in and of itself. I would say that it's interesting to think about from looking at all the games, because I would say that every Pokemon game, like Pokemon games in general, are good video games, right? I would say even with like all the poop that that Sword and Shield got recently, they're still good video games. Like it's better than, well, I shouldn't say it's better than 7 Days to Die because we've played a lot of 7 Days to Die, but it's better than Cyberpunk.
Yikes.
Hashtag yikes. It's better than something like Cyberpunk, which is unfinished and is a mess. Or it's better than The Lion King on Super Nintendo.
Oh, God.
So I would say they're good video games in general. I just like to be critical of the things that I love so that I can try to suggest that they be better, right? I don't think it's wrong of people to not to expect, but to want something, right?
Yeah.
In regards to video games, I don't think it's wrong to want something, but I think every game, maybe except for Gen 1, has done something that I think has made the series progressively better.
Yeah, absolutely.
I definitely think there's a couple of them with their own flaws. Like if we step through it, like Gen 1, I think as a video game on its own without the marketing juggernaut that it had going for it at the time, because I will say, I've said it before and I'll say it again, Pokemon is the Beatles of video games. It's just something you're not going to be able to recreate in the same way because of the technology that exists now versus to what existed in 1996 to 1998.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That makes sense.
For those of you at home who don't know, because Thatch likes old music because he's weird.
I'll second that.
The Beatles had a bunch of albums from like, I believe 1960 to 1964, maybe 1962 to 1964. They had a couple of albums and they were only in England at the time. And because there's no internet in the 1960s, there wasn't like music sharing going on as much between the UK and the US. So the Beatles came over to the US in 1964 and they put out Meet the Beatles, that album, the famous Meet the Beatles album. And it was pretty much just like a greatest hits album.
Yeah.
The Beatles took the US by storm because they hit the top charts like immediately because they already took all the stuff they already like tested over in England. And I would say the same thing's true about Pokemon because the internet wasn't as prevalent in the 90s as it is now, or even in the 2000s. And so Pokemon became big over in Japan and they made an anime for it, all this other stuff. And they're just like, what if we released all of that at once in the US?
Basically, yeah. Because
And
like
that's what
that and
happened.
this show and the trading card game all came out kind of in the same year, right?
Yeah, it all happened pretty much simultaneously. Like it all happened within, I think, six-ish months.
Yeah.
Everything dropped at the same time.
Blew up and just boom.
And then Gold and Silver came out like 2 years after that immediately,
Yes.
or 1 year even.
It came out a year later in Japan, but it was 2 years later in...
'Cause it came out year 2000 for the US, I believe.
Yeah, and
it
98 was the games.
98 was so it came out in 96 in Japan, 98 in the US, and then that was a red blue / red green.
Yeah.
Yellow version came out in Japan, I believe, in 98, and yellow version came out in 99 in the US. And then Gold and Silver came out in 2000 in the US, but Gold and Silver came out in 99 in in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very weird timeline until we sync up releases, right?
Yeah, which I love. I love not having to figure out the English names after I've memorized the Japanese name.
Right.
I still accidentally call Ferrothorn Natare every now and again.
I miss those days a little bit, and I think I'd rather have what we have now, but there's like a part of me that misses the nostalgia of staring at Pokemon that don't quote unquote exist to me yet.
Yeah.
For like 6 months until I get them. I kind of miss that. I also really missed the hype because, I mean, I remember I was in 3rd grade. Well, I think 2nd grade technically when Pokemon came out, or 3rd grade. I forget which one. I know I played it a lot in 3rd grade. When Pokemon came out in 3rd grade, it was really hype. It was really cool. Then 4th grade happened, and like you get all these magazines that were essentially just grabbing it was the internet before the internet.
Yeah.
And they were grabbing information from Japan and stuff. They would be like, oh, by the way, breeding's happening in Pokemon's in the next Pokemon games. You're just like, whoa, what? That's crazy. And it's just because they played a Japanese copy of Gold and Silver or something. But like my 9-10-year-old brain is just like, that's so cool.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. I can't believe they're getting such cool information.
Where did they ever get it?
You can kind of get that feeling with card games now, though. Like
a little bit.
Usually gets,
That's
like Magic isn't really it, but like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, like Japan gets stuff like 6 months? Again, it seems like 6 months ahead of us. Like, if not a little longer.
I think it's 3 now. I think it's down to
Is it
3. I think
3?
their sets are like 3 months before our sets.
I might be thinking more Yu-Gi-Oh, because Yu-Gi-Oh takes a while still.
Yeah, the Pokemon stuff, they usually have them in smaller sets. Like, we have a giant set every 3 months. They have 2 or 3 small sets in between the times that we have our giant ones. So we're seeing little bits and pieces. Like, Vivid Voltage is a mix of 2 of the Japanese sets put together.
Yep.
So we get little bits like that, which is the same.
I miss that a lot. Like if I want to be nostalgic, like that's the kind of stuff I miss. But going back to the games and like the generations, I think so. Like Gen 1 is the foundation, not a great one in my opinion.
It's broken.
It's good enough.
It's very broken.
Yeah.
It did the job. That's all I care about.
It did the job.
I think they fixed all of the issues Gen 1 had in Gen 2.
I think most, if not all.
Most, if not all. Maybe they missed 1 or 2, but they fixed most of it. Like the whole ghost type fiasco.
Yeah.
Thank God. Thank you for fixing that. They also started balancing the game a little bit more with the steel and the dark type. Well, Gen 2 added a lot. Steel and dark type, which is pretty good, big.
And didn't they also add the special defense stat? They split special.
Yeah, they added special defense.
Yep.
They got rid of special. That was huge because 1 stat for special is dumb.
Yeah, the special stat was what made Gen 1 really
stupid.
broken. There's some type inconsistencies, moves didn't really work. The whole leash the toxic thing is a thing too, where like they stack.
They also did day and night, which was really big, I think, in terms of playthrough. I really like day and night in terms of playthrough. The thing that they added that is gone for the most part now, it's kind of back in Sword and Shield, and it comes back in waves in little places, but I really miss the day of the week thing. That's probably the Animal Crossing player in me more than anything.
It was okay for some things. But
I miss things like the bug catching contest. I miss that.
I miss the little things here and there.
Yeah, we're back to that.
Bug catching, yeah. I do miss a lot of the little random side events you can do. Like, again, like bug catching. That was a fun thing.
So, hear me out. I definitely said this like maybe a year and a half ago. I think it'd be really cool if they had a bug catching contest / bug casting contest equivalent, and we could join in it together and compete against each other.
That would be cool.
I think that would be cool. I mean, I think Dynamax Adventures are the ultimate co-op, but I think that would be much more fun co-op. I think that'd be fun co-op too.
Yeah.
Catching contest, essentially. Because they had
catching
the whole
contest
thing with, was it Pal Park? Like, they had a point thing for Pal Park for some reason. Like,
yeah,
I
that
think it was
confused
just like
me.
Items. Maybe. I don't remember if they gave items after it, but it was like,
no,
why?
I think it was
There's
just
no
points.
Scoring.
I think it was just points. It was really confusing.
What? Like,
no, but could you imagine if we did just like a catching contest of some sort? It would be cool. Like if we competed with Pal Park catches or something, that'd be kind of cool.
like Friend Safari would have been the way to do it too, in a way. Like that kind of like, here's a little bit of grass, try to catch what you can catch. But the only thing is with Friend Safari, they're based on type, which is a little not exactly, but
I don't know. I'm just kind of waiting for the moment where like it's semi MMO and we could be in the same game, quote unquote, together.
Yeah,
and we could just do like a catching contest.
It was kind of cool in Sword and Shield seeing other people, quote unquote, and going through walls and things like that and walking off edges, so you're kind of where they are. But I mean,
It would
We're
be
getting
really,
there, I think.
it would be really cool if it were be like, hey, you guys want to get together into the wild area and do these things together?
Yeah.
To be fair, I think Pokemon needs to come up with the content that are these things. But yeah, okay, I digress. We're trying to talk about what each game brought to the table, and we're talking about wish lists, and wish lists are good. Gen 2 brought a lot of good stuff. I think Gen 3 brought even more good stuff.
My
personally.
favorite.
Well, they brought abilities, which is really big.
Yeah.
Ability was a big thing.
They also brought like the modern competitive frame, like the modern competitive framework, like EVs and IVs, as we know them now, came in Gen 3.
Like that's how we had with the caps, with how they worked essentially. Like,
well, because the old EV system was stupid.
Yeah,
I agree.
Remember, right? In Gen 2, you technically could get 99 EVs in a stat. If I remember right, they just kept going up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like, it's just the fact that you couldn't get them post level 100. You had to do it as you're leveling up.
There's some issues in Gen 3 with that. I would say like everything that touched that afterwards is just kind of in like minor tweaks.
Yeah, like Gen 3 was a major like competitive frame, as you said, and then afterward they're just fixing stuff here and there. They're like, oh, we'll add this and like make this a little easier, and it's like skip ahead a bit too. Like Gen 8 like mastered that essentially. Like Gen 8, like,
Gen 8 has, I think, is almost the epitome. There's like two things that I think I would want, but then other than that, it's just the epitome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really cool. I think Gen 3 in terms of being a game was a good game.
I think it was fantastic.
I always give it crap, but that's mostly my nostalgia brain going, oh man, I can't transfer my Pokemon from Red and Blue.
Yeah, it's just the transferring thing that gave Gen 3 a lot of flack. Was like, hey, you gave us all the stuff in Gen 2 and then you take it all away. It's like, it kind of makes sense too in a way, because like, okay, Gen 2 was a lot, and to add all that and then everything in that on a new console, technically.
Well, like you're converting the Pokemon from one data set to a new data set on top of that. It was a pain in the butt, and cross-generational links between the Game Boy Color and the GBA were I don't think anybody else did that.
Yeah.
So
it was already like they had to cut something. There was no avoiding it, unfortunately.
I agree with that, and I think they semi made up for it. I'm going to say semi because you had to buy a lot of games to make up for it.
Yeah.
Later on you did. Like, well, at the very end of it, we only had to get like one or two, but now it's like, but up to like getting from here further on, you needed to get a lot of stuff. Like, you need to get Coliseum, you needed Gen 3.
Okay, so you technically didn't need Coliseum and XD.
Oh, right. No, you needed Emerald.
You could do it with Leaf Green, Fire Red, and Emerald. Because if you actually look at the random Gen 2 Pokemon that they like threw into those, because you were missing a lot of Gen 2 Pokemon.
Emerald fixed a lot of it because of they added an area to the Safari Zone, which unlocked after you beat the game, if I remember right. And then also if you completed the Dex, you would get a Johto starter.
Yep.
But the big issue then is you have to do that three times. And it's not like we had, well, actually we did have a bank program, but it wasn't bank, it was Pokemon Box.
Dude, that thing's so hard to get.
I have that thing. I'm so happy I have it.
Do
still.
you? Dude, that thing's worth, I think last time I looked, it's like $1,000.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Let me double check. Maybe it wasn't that expensive, but it was crazy.
It might be
like
sealed.
I was thinking about buying myself a copy, right?
Yeah, it was rare because it came with that and it came with
dude, it was so hard to get.
Special memory card. I have that too somewhere.
I was wrong. It is not $1,000. It is only $725 I can get it for right now.
Wow.
On eBay. Yeah, dude, it's such a rare game because it was so hard to get at the time.
I don't know how I got it. I'll be honest, I don't remember. I think I just got it for birthday or Christmas or something, or it's just something that was announced. I was like, oh, I want that, and I got it. Yeah, it was just so hard to get because it was a very limited release, and oh my gosh, it's such a pain in the butt to get. I want to get one before it goes up too much higher. I'm gonna think about it because if you're gonna get it to at this point, you might want to look at this. Sealed's probably be a lot more, but I would look to see the difference in sealed. Because like I don't know that I would want sealed per se because I will want to use it. Like I will want to use it. I'll be a horrible person and like connect a GBA and like dump things into it. It's not worth it. It doesn't. It had one good thing. We already have it now. So you're absolutely correct. The one thing that was good for was E-Speed Zigzagoon. That was the only thing you got from it, and now we already have it again. Isn't that just an egg move now? Yes. Yeah, they fixed it. Yes. Yeah, I remember this because for one of the advent calendars, we did the E-Speed Zigzagoon, and I had to figure out how to make that PKA. Yeah. There's a pain in the butt. I remember that. I want to throw one thing out that Gen 3 added that really changed it for me, which is going to sound really, really stupid, but YOLO. The coloring. Yeah. You know what? You're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
Not only in like the game itself, because that just completely changed my world. Like seeing your reflection and the colors being actually filled in instead of in the Game Boy color.
The ray tracing in Sapphire and Ruby was great.
Ray tracing. But also, like, Sugimori's art style completely changed from 2 to 3. And I personally hate the washed out original Pokemon art that is in those original ones.
They were much more vibrant.
I like the style. I don't know if I like how some of them look in the old style, but I do like that like whiting on some of them. That's really
I
do
hate
like
that so
to a degree.
much.
Some Pokemon look better than others.
Ugh. Like one of the things I was most excited for with Heart Gold Soul Silver was the new official Sugimori art that came with each Pokemon, because it wasn't that, in my opinion, garbage washed out original art style. Holy moly. And like Fire Red Leaf Green had them redone. So I mean, like I said, really stupid, superficial, but that's something that really holds a lot to me. And you guys know you've made fun of me before for making teams with primarily cool colors and no warm colors. But
I also think that the sprite work, honestly, this is a hot take. I think some of the sprite work's better than the 3D models we have.
I agree. Yeah.
Mostly because of that coloring issue, like you said. I think the biggest example of this is just Lantern. Like if you look at Lantern's sprite art, he's very vibrant, he's very blue, he's very yellow. And then once he makes the jump to 3D, he just kind of looks washed out. And I think that's the case with a lot of the older Pokemon. They just kind of got washed out in the 3D.
And then there's the whole Sky Battle issue, which
let's not even talk about the Sky Battle. That has just ruined a lot of things for a long time.
Yeah.
Also, for all the modeling and animation issues that they were claiming for Sword and Shield, why didn't we fix that?
Xatu still just floats there.
Xatu and Skarmory and all, like, oh my gosh.
Skarmory, anything with wings.
Okay, moving on. Gen 4, cool, physical special split. Yeah. I personally think the game's fun, minus the pacing of the battles.
Another thing I'll throw out is like the rotating nostalgia. Like I remember prior to Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, kind of in the Gen 4 going into whatever days, everyone hated Gen 3, like it was the least favorite generation by far.
Happens a lot. It happens a lot.
As time went on, it got to like, oh, a Gen 3 really needs a remake because it was my favorite or whatever and all that kind of stuff.
It was the thing of like people who started with it got to the point where they were older and they wanted to play it again. And
I think it's a little bit more nuanced than that, because like I've been thinking about this for a while, because we always have that rotation and everybody always comments on it, and like Joe Merrick's like, oh, now it's time for everybody to love Gen 6, haha.
Exactly.
I think it's a little bit more nuanced than that, because I still hold a theory that in terms of Pokemon, it takes time for something to feel like a Pokemon in terms of the designs. And on top of that, I would even say that with the games themselves, I would say that people have issues with that. Also, I think the cycle's kind of broken, because I've never heard anybody like really poop on Gen 6 for being bad during Gen 7. Just throwing that out there.
Right, yeah.
If anything, Gen 6 was kind of short, but there's a lot to it that was it worked in the long run.
I think I feel the same way about Gen 6 as I do about Gen 8. I'll say that. Gen 5 didn't really do anything, by the way. It was kind of boring. Animated sprites. It gave us animated sprites.
Yay.
I thought it had a good story. I thought the story was better.
I consider Black and White 2 to be a good story, because of also the fact that they built it up with the Black and White 1 story, and it was the whole continuation and the whole thing of the whole Gen 5 story as a whole is great, but the first round was just terrible.
I think the first round didn't go well because I think they had a really cool concept and they didn't want to follow through on it.
Yeah.
The whole cool, we're gonna do a whole new 151, but it's like,
stupid.
Oh, that was bad. That was dumb.
That was not good. Like, okay, no Zubat, sure. Oh, we got Spoobat. It's another bat. Like, it was like, I felt like everything was being compared to something else. Like, oh, that's Trubbish. Guess what? That's Grimer.
I would say a lot of the ideas weren't original. They gave us a new 150 Pokemon, but the 150 Pokemon weren't cool. I think my favorite ones are the ones that are actually original out of Gen 5. Like Zebstrika. I really like Zebstrika out of Gen 5.
Yeah. Volcarona, Hydreigon, those things.
Oh, the interesting ones. Like, I wouldn't be like, oh yes, Simisear, peak
not
Pokemon.
Geodude 2.
Roggenrola.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roggenrola, Timber.
And Black and White really felt like they just threw out a game. Because there was nothing, like, once you beat the game, you were done.
Yeah, once you beat the Elite Four, there was still like half the region to go.
It's like a third, if not even that. And it wasn't even that.
But that's still cool. I like that.
It was cool. I like the concept of it. I do like having an extra area to explore post-game. But that area was not that much.
No, it wasn't exciting.
It was nice
at all.
But you had one city that was just empty.
Yes. Oh, Black City and White Forest, both of those were dumb.
Empty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like in Black and White 2, they fixed a good amount of that too. It's like, hey, here's this area too, and as well as like more stuff to do and more like they added more to it, which made it a better game. There's more bulk to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I think Black and White 1, you just had like the champions, like the battle tower essentially equivalent, and like White Forest, and then Union Square. What was it called?
You're thinking of Joint Avenue. Joint
Avenue is what it was called. I don't know what it was called for that one.
Joint Avenue's
like,
better.
It was just like, okay. They did cool things, like the achievement. I thought that was a very cool thing. I wish they'd bring us back something like that. Like a little like, here's a list of achievements you can do to get a bat. Like, in Sun and Moon, they had the little stamps in the book. Like, a little achievement tracker type thing.
Yeah, I do
really
like that. I did like that.
But I do like the option of like, oh, I can beat this. Well, if I beat this game, I can play it again on a hard mode.
Yeah.
That was the coolest thing they did, then took it away.
Yeah. It's like, that's like,
took it away.
Like, okay, you gotta realize, yeah, you have a lot of kids, but you also have older fans that want a more challenging game.
Yeah, but they don't care about us at that point.
They're blind if they don't know that at this point.
Yeah, but they're blind to the 19 million copies of Sword and Shield that they sold.
And it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even that hard for them to do. It's just like, okay, modify some levels, give them some more moves, and just like use a better AI, I guess, to a degree. Like just make the AI a bit different, which that might be the hardest part of all of it.
What is switching? I don't know.
Yeah.
Gen 6 I thought was good. They gave us 3D models, which is for better or worse.
Yeah.
Overall, I think it was good.
I think the story was very bad.
The story was meh.
I don't like that the legends were just batteries for a gun.
Yes.
I wanted their story, especially with as cool as their Pokedex entries are, like the Pokemon of life, the Pokemon of not death, but destruction.
It really felt like there was more that they wanted to do with X and Y than they got to do.
Yeah. Again.
I think part of that was the jump to 3D, which that's why a lot of us forgave it for what it was. The jump to 3D was a lot of work. That at that point, honestly, like now people look at it and they're just like, yeah, Pokemon's in 3D. That's how it worked. Like when Gen 6 was like, oh, it's going to be in 3D. Oh man, that was like something that people had been wanting for the longest time.
Yeah, it was. And the thing, you gotta think, that's
was
a
big
huge
deal.
amount of work to take a 2D drawing and make it into a 3D model for all the Pokemon. Like, Sword and Shield is a bit different from that, but like, you gotta take, how many Pokemon do we have? We had like 600 at that point?
649, I want to say.
Take all of those, get the drawings, and and somehow make that into a 3D model.
It was a lot of work.
That takes a lot of work and a lot of time.
Yeah, no,
like,
they had a completely separate company do it. Like, that was all Creatures.
Yeah.
Creatures just spent like 2 years doing that. It was a lot of work. It did a lot. I mean, good on them. I think they planned for more to happen in Gen 6, but they wanted to get Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire out, which I think are honestly good games. I think Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire are really good.
I love them. But then again, I'm a Gen 3 sucker anyway, so of course I love them.
So without being a Gen 3 sucker, like, I think that they are fantastic in terms of content that they have. Even without having the Battle Frontier, I think the content that's in them, and also as a remake, adding in the Delta episode, I thought was just fantastic in and of itself.
I like having something at the end to do. Like, Sword and Shield kind of had that, but I didn't really, I don't know, it wasn't the best.
I want to be completely honest. I think if you're a Pokemon game doesn't have a good, like, as much as I dislike people who shiny hunt on Twitch and stuff like that. Well, I shouldn't say dislike. I don't get the draw of people like wanting to watch that with you, but like I get wanting to shiny hunt on your own and do stuff like that to be like, I did this, I got this. I think if your game doesn't have a good shiny hunting method, it's hard to say it's got something good going in the post game, because typically the shiny hunting methods get latched onto other things as well, like being able to go catch things with good stats and stuff like that.
They've been better with that now too. Yeah, they're trying to make it like, oh, if you're doing this, you get a good mon. You don't want to get a shiny that's complete garbage, you know?
Exactly. So I really like that kind of things happen. I still think DexNav is my favorite by far. It requires some skill to do it.
They completely scrapped the PokeSalon. That was a fun minigame thing from
that was true.
Silver.
That's true.
I remember doing that. Like getting all the gleefs or whatever to make the crown. That's like a little side thing. Like, I do remember doing that.
I like contests. That's a thing.
Did Gen 7 add anything? I don't even know what Gen 7 added. I think it gave us Battle Caps.
Royale.
Bottle caps are great, honestly.
Bottle caps are great. They were a good addition. They needed to happen.
I think it also tried to take Pokemon to a new direction with, like, trying to be more story heavy, but I think it was just hand-holdy the entire time.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't, like, that stellar, but it was better than the worst, which is good.
Yeah, that's true.
It added the timeline difference where there's the Mega and the Prime timeline. With the Delta episode specifically. It's like, oh, Mega Evolution never existed.
I was thinking Gen 7.
Yeah.
No, the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire is Gen 6.
Am I stupid? Oh
Yes.
my gosh, I am.
I think Gen 7 didn't do too much other than bottle caps and ruined the meta with Tafu Koko. Gen 8, I will say, like, in the current timeline, I feel the same way as I do about Gen 6, because I think Gen 6's meta was very balanced. It was very fun, and I thought Megas were a really good way to shake it up. And I would say the same thing about Gen 8. Dynamax is really fun in the officially supported formats.
Yeah.
Nothing else. And they made getting competitive Pokemon super easy.
Oh,
They did.
thank
They fixed the
goodness.
competitive issue, which is like the bar to entry for competitive was terrible. I remember in Gen 5 breeding stuff.
Yeah, you could lock in one IV and a nature, and okay, cool.
Yeah, you
That's
just
it.
generally just went for like
Good
the
luck.
2 IVs you would need, like attack or speed or both or whatever. Like or like if you had
Yep.
like a wall, you would just go for HP and that defense stat and just
Yeah.
that would call it there.
I was thrilled. I remember I spent hours trying to get a Scraggy, because that was among my favorites at the time,
Yep.
because it was funny and bulky and haha, Dragon Dance, Shed Skin, Rest, funny.
Mhm.
And I remember I was tickled when I got a max speed, max attack Scraggy, and I didn't care about the other stats. I didn't even want to know.
Again, Gen 5 breeding was the birth of Rhyhorn Steakhouse.
Yeah.
I still remember that. I remember, I think it was I finally got like a 331 IV Rhyhorn, and then it got stolen. Because again, this was years ago. This was years ago when I was trusting of people.
I don't miss those days, but I think Gen 8 was
No.
good in that regard. I think the story was
They
really
fixed
bad.
a lot of it.
I mean, there have been some bad things in Gen 8, but I think in
Yeah.
terms of competitive entry, they've done a very good job of that.
They did
Yeah.
very good with that. They gave us a good post game with like Dynamax Adventures and raids and stuff.
I
like,
would say the DLC was fantastic. The
the
DLC,
DLC
yes.
was good too. And like you
Fantastic.
gave us like the big like Pokemon need to have a good like initial like you need to have the good base set. Like the story should be okay, or at least like I can enjoy playing through it. And then you need a post game. If you don't have a post game, the game honestly, in my opinion, is just garbage.
yeah.
Like, 'cause, okay,
Yeah.
I beat the game. What do?
Yeah.
I just shelf it.
Pokemon's not like a typical RPG where like when you're done with the story, it's not like Zelda where like once you beat it, you're done.
Yeah. It's just the fact that like, what am I leveling these things up for? Just
Yeah.
to have them essentially is what that's what it came down to some older games. Like Gen 8 is like, oh, I can level these mons to do some more
Mhm.
adventures or not adventures, but like raids. I can use them for here. Like there's actual like, I feel there's more stuff to use those Pokemon for other than just like battling online.
I agree with that. I like when there's more things to do in the game when you're done, more things to accomplish. Like I would even say with the DLC outside of the raids, I would say even the Galar Star Tournament, even though it's just an echo of something greater of a past time.
Yeah, it's just an echo. It's at least something. Like,
The echo of something much greater.
we got DLC, so you've got something to level those Pokemon up for, to use these things for. Like, even though if you're going with 100, you're going to steamroll it. It's just still like, hey, I have these things for this.
Yep. It's a time. But yeah, I would say everything's done something good.
Yeah.
I would never say that every Pokemon game is bad. I would say that they're all different.
Yeah, they're all different. There's like costs to some things too. That's how it kind of happens. Like, you get a lot of good stuff, but there's a cost.
That explains a lot of things, right?
And they've been making it better as they get on. Some of them are a bit worse than others, unfortunately, but they're trying to make everything like, they're trying to keep everything as they go on or improve it.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, I think this is a good place to stop. This is a long one.
Yeah. We've been at this for a bit.
Let's kick it on over to the Pokemon of the episode then. So we will catch you guys on the flip-flop.
Poke of the episode.
And welcome to the Pokemon of the episode. Our Pokemon of the episode this week is National Dex number 473, Mamoswine, the twinned Tusk Pokemon.
I sound like an auctioneer. It looks strong, and that's exactly what it is. As the weather grows colder, its ice tusks grow longer, thicker, and more impressive.
Wait, they're ice tusks?
The tusks are made of ice, that's why it's an ice type.
As a matter of fact, they are.
As they are.
Tusks made of ice.
Aha!
You can use them to cool your drinks.
Mamoswine's always been kind of good as a Pokemon. I would say it's been like a solid B tier forever.
Yeah. Well, it's got a massive amount of HP. It's got a high attack. It's got a ground. It's got stab ice. It's got stab ice, stab ground. Both very good offensive types.
Both very good offensive types. Ice only being,
especially
I think
good
ice
together.
typing is the only weak part because defensively it sucks. But yeah, 110 HP, 130 attack, 80 defense, 70 special attack. Who cares? 60 special defense. That's bad. And 80 speed. 80 speed is like that magic number. I tell you, man. You either have it or you don't.
Yeah. Well, you care about that special attack for freeze dry.
Yeah, for freeze dry, that special attack can actually be worth something outside of in like OU
That's
environments.
True. That's true. I agree with that. Well, you might see it as like a tech in VGC, where you can hit like water types because what am I going to do to Tapu Fini? And that's what you do. But I think
Earthquake the
Earthquake's,
crap out of it.
Yeah, Earthquake's not bad.
It was great to catch Rotom Wash on the Switch that think they're safe.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that. I see other Pokemon use it, typically Ninetales. They'll run freeze dry, but in VGC. But this team with this Mamoswine is actually really good. I'm a big fan of this. This team, for those of you who are unaware, this Mamoswine got a this team got 9th place overall on the VGC Battle Stadium single or Battle Stadium doubles ladder. So just like overall in December.
Yeah.
9th place team. Crazy. It's actually really fun and really cool. We didn't talk about which Pokemon anybody's going to take, so I'm going to just steal some first. I'm going to steal my two favorite. One being the Mamoswine itself. With Focus Sash, it's got Oblivious as an ability. Thank God, because Oblivious got that buff this gen.
Yeah. No more Intimidate drop.
No more Intimidate. It's great. It's fantastic. Good for you, Mamoswine. It also can't be confused. G-Max Smite. I hate G-Max Smite from Hatterene. It's got 4 HP, 252 attack, 252 speed. Makes sense. Jolly Natured, Earthquake, Ice Shard, Protect, Icicle Crash. Now that Ice Shard's really important because you do pair this up with the Whimsicott a lot of the times. That's holding an eject button, so you know it's coming. It's the ability has Prankster. The EV spread is specialized for things that I don't know. 188 HP, 52 special attack, 12 speed, or special defense, and 252 speed. Timid Nature. It's Prankster, so you do things like Helping Hand, Tailwind. You also have Switcheroo, which I really like, because you can Switcheroo an eject button onto a Dynamax Pokemon if you can tell your opponent's going to Dynamax turn 1, and you can Ice Shard them with Mamoswine, and just not have a Dynamax Pokemon to worry about.
That's so funny.
It's really good. Again, talking about before, it's really good for like Colossal and like Regigigas.
Those are the two things. Those are the two, because right now those are the two biggest heavy hitters in VGC. One, because the top two teams in the last Players Cup ran those. One was a Colossal team, one was a Regigigas team, and both of those typically don't run in DD, which is something to keep in mind if you're going to try to do this. Like, I can tell they're going to Trick Room and then bring out, and then like G-Max Hatterene or something like that, and there's a Indeedee on the field. Indeedee will typically follow me, so the Switcheroo will actually go to the Indeedee. So keep that in mind.
And with Psychic Terrain, it would block the Ice Shard, too.
Yeah, that doesn't even work because Psychic Terrain.
Exactly, so you have to watch out for things that lead with Indeedee for that. But in terms of like the Regigigas, which typically starts Weezing Regigigas, Weezing's not redirecting. So you can Switcheroo and Ice Shard the Regigigas, not have to worry about it the rest of the game.
I would just say be wary for Psychic Terrain.
Yes, be very wary for Psychic Terrain. Mostly, I still think Indeedee's the problem, not so much Tapu Lele.
Indeedee has Psychic Terrain, so it is the problem no matter what. But eventually we'll get Lele, too.
Well, they do have Lele. Lele exists right now.
Oh, is it in there still? Oh, so we have Lele too, to a degree. So it's just again, Psychic Terrain and follow me abusers.
It's just, Indeedee does a better job than Lele.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to fear Spectrier. Like, that's one thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Indeedee does better because Ghost type has gotten such a buff because, not Payback, but what's that one move that everybody used to use? Pursuit is gone.
Yeah. Yep.
So Ghost types are good again. But it works really well, like we said, against Regigigas and Colossal, which I think are the two most popular leads in terms of just like Dynamax turn 1 Pokemon. Mm-hmm. I think it's a lot of fun to use. I've done it myself a couple of times with this team. I really like. I might run this for Players Cup. I haven't decided, but I might.
It has a good enough attack that I might get you far. I don't know if it'll win you the whole thing, but it might.
I'm not trying to win the whole thing. I just want to qualify, and I think it might get me to qualify.
It probably will, because again, as we said before, like Colossal and Regigigas were the one that won last Players Cup. You know, a lot of people are going to try to take that and win this one.
Yep, exactly. So I don't know who wants to take 2 more, but you can take 2 more.
Next one is Nihiligo holding a power orb. Not power orb. Wow, power herb. Oib.
Unprofessional, Seth.
Power oib. And it's got beast
We're
boost.
literate. We can't read.
I can't read, remember? We're guessing this whole time. I see the picture and I'm guessing what I see. There's a leaf. So, it's level 50. It's got 4 HP, max special attack, max speed with a timid nature. For those who need to know, that increases special attack with beast boost because Nihiligo's special's bonkers.
Yes.
It's got Meteor Beam, Sludge Bomb, Substitute, and Protect. So you Meteor Beam, go even crazier, keep stacking those special attack boosts early, and Sludge Bomb everything else in the way. Sub and Protect as needed. Other Pokemon is Galarian Moltres, holding a weakness policy. The ability is obviously Berserk, level 50, max special attack, max speed, dump the other one in HP. Modest nature, you kind of need it with its a little bit low special attack. But it's got Fiery Wrath, Air Slash, Taunt, and Nasty Plot. And the cool thing about that, if you can activate the weakness policy, that'll likely put you below 50% health, so that'll also activate Berserk. So you'll just be sitting at a pretty +3, possibly a +5 if you Nasty Plotted.
I've gotten to +5 with this one before.
Yeah. Like in one turn, you can get to +5, and then next turn you Fiery Wrath everything to death.
Well, it's that too in the fact that it's a Dynamax target, so you have Air Slash to boost your speed.
Yeah, you can always go big and get a speed boost too.
You technically have Max Darkness to get above +5 in a way. You know, it's just like lower their special defense, and then you just hit harder each time.
Yep.
Galarian Moltres is probably my favorite Pokemon in VGC right now.
It's
Really?
fun. I enjoyed it for summer league, or not.
Yeah,
fall
it is
league.
probably my favorite Pokemon. It works really well. It's very, I don't want to say it's very splashable, but it feels very splashable.
It is very splashable. No, that's the word for it.
I haven't seen anything that's been able to OHKO it without getting boost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Low-key, I'm looking at it for Draft League. not gonna lie.
It's very good in VGC.
It would be good. With the typing as well as like a decent special defense, you can make it
Yeah.
work.
Yep.
Decent. It's like 125 special defense. It's bonkers.
Yeah. Also on this team, though, you've got a G-Max Cinderace with an Assault Vest, the Libero as its ability. Yeah, level 50 Gigantamax, of course. Max Attack, Max Speed Jolly, dump the rest in special defense. And you run Bounce, Pyro Ball, High Jump Kick, Iron Head. It's pretty standard move pool. Like, nothing special.
Yeah.
Then you've got Spectrier with a Life Orb. With, 28 HP, 148 defense, 140 special attack, 4 special defense, and 188 speed. Timid Nature, Hyper Beam, Mud Shot, Shadow Ball, Taunt. And that speed, it gets it to outspeed base 121s.
Yes.
Yep.
So I guess you just try to going, I don't know what has 121 exact.
I'm going to find out. We're going to find out.
Tornadus Therian, for one thing.
I don't know what that defense stat's for because I don't think Spectre has one.
The defense stat I can't figure out. The HP is for a Life Orb number so that you can use it 11 times instead of 10.
Yes. That is true. I just don't know what the defense CVs are for.
Yeah, I don't know. It puts it at exactly 99 defense. I don't know what that's good for.
I assume it doesn't need all the special attack, it doesn't need all the speed, so you just kind of give it a little bit more bulk to survive random things.
It probably doesn't need all the special attack. That's definitely for sure.
Because the thing, like, again, like, I don't think, I assume none of these will make the difference of, like, one-shotting or two-shotting. Like, it's probably, I assume everything's gonna two-shot no matter what.
Base 121s, and I think the only one of honorable mention in this case is Naganadel. It outspeeds Naganadel.
Oh, yeah. What?
Yeah, Naganadel has a base 121.
Right,
Oh.
yeah.
And Tornadus is also base 121. Therian Tornadus, but nobody's running that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could think of. I keep thinking Naganadel's like 126.
Also, technically Boltuned.
Oh, wow. That's it.
It might be like Scarf base 80s, maybe. I don't know if that outspeeds them. I don't think it does, actually, now that I say it, but
I do not know off the top of my head.
I don't think
It wouldn't
the
be
math works
80s.
like that.
But it outspeeds Naganadel, which has been a pretty big threat.
That's
But
probably it.
I
then.
assume it's just, it doesn't need all the special attacks, so they just put the base bare minimum to, like, essentially...
Yeah.
Because I assume it's not the difference between a one-shot and a two-shot, unless there's something running weird spreads.
Mm-hmm. Well, you also get like the scary Nay. So he's just gonna steamroll.
Yeah. You just if they're Dynamax Mon too, you just like get like lead with it. You essentially use it to do as much damage as possible, and then you
lead, go big, punch a hole, and you pray.
Yeah, pretty much. Use it for the bulky psychic types, or just Pokemon that don't or that aren't immune. Celesteela, Metagross, Celesteela here and there.
Yep.
Just the Pokemon that you have issues with.
Yeah.
Yep. I absolutely agree. But yeah, that is the team. You can grab the rental code over on our Discord server. It is a hoot and a holler. That is what I'll tell you. It is a hoot and a holler.
I finally figured out why Mamoswine doesn't make sense to me, and that's because its ice tusks come out of its armpits, not out of its mouth.
Wait, it comes out of the armpits?
It kind of
Look
does.
at the picture.
Oh my gosh, it does.
I finally figured out why it looks wrong all the time.
He's just holding them in his armpits. They're a newspaper. He's bringing in from the morning.
Honey, I brought in the ice tusks.
We know what it looks like around behind, but it'd be great to see it's like a big like U shape that goes around. It goes under all the legs. And it's just like,
it's like those neck pillows.
Yeah.
Yes, it's an airplane neck pillow. All right, that is going to be it. We are going to kick it on over to the mailbag.
It's mail time! Send in your emails! Mail!
And welcome to the mailbag. The mailbag, as always, is brought to you by the fictional energy drink Green Toros, the energy drink that gives you hooves.
Hoofs!
And as always, we'll give out the Green Taurus badge to emails we deem worthy. We actually already have one, but we'll discuss it here in a second. This is the part of the show where you can email us at puclpodcast@gmail.com, and maybe we'll read your email on the show. We typically have a prompt. This week we asked you what you thought about moves being removed from the game and how that made you feel on the inside, or if there were any moves that you wish didn't get removed, whatnot. But yeah, we also receive emails. We'd love to receive emails from you that aren't about the topic as well, if you don't have anything to talk about. Specifically, like we mentioned, Tia2 earlier today sent an email in today to us that actually inspired the entire topic. Now, while her email is an essay that references another essay that you're required to read prior to understand the context, we do want to present her with he or her,
them.
with them, with the Green Toros badge this week because they inspired the entire topic for this episode. So please get to us if you would like that. So unfortunately, everybody else, you didn't inspire us. So before,
Dang,
sucks to suck. I guess I don't know, but we're gonna read a couple more emails this week anyway. The first one is gonna be from Pokemaster. So this one's you, Shamu.
All right. Hello, Thatch and other wonderful co-hosts. Pokemaster here. Happy New Year. It is the new year. Last week's topic was about the culling of moves here. So I am here to put my 2 cents into this wonderful show. As someone whose first game was Ultra Sun, and I went back to play Crystal X, Alpha Sapphire, Let's Go Eevee, and now currently Shield, with no past experience with comp until now, I never noticed the move cullings.
Of course not. You existed after the move cullings.
Yeah.
You were born in the move cullings. Molded by them.
wow.
So Gulam now gives an opinion. Wake Up Slap, it's like Wake Up Slap and Spelling Salt. They never had a point. It was dumb. We did talk about that on last episode.
Yeah. No, they're absolutely.
All the Let's Go moves. Unpopular opinion alert. I love Let's Go, and it's one of my favorite Pokemon games. So I am sad to hear that I can't transfer my Eevee Tofu into Swish. Although whoever thought of Batty Bad as a name needs a re-education. A lot of those moves were not meant to be like
wow.
good names.
The real talk.
Yeah.
They were just meant to be like cutesy names like Batty Bad.
I thought all the Let's Go names were bad. Like all of those move names
They
were
weren't meant
bad.
to be like super
How
good
bad?
names.
Batty Bad?
They were batty bad. They were very batty bad.
I think they were meant for kids just to be able to say them and know what they are, not like
Yes.
smelling salts, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not,
I guess.
Not complicated in moves. Toxic. Although Toxic wasn't removed, I am sad most of the Toxic Pokemon got ripped off of this move. That was a good thing that we did not get Toxic again, because that was
so good. I am actually a big fan that Toxic got removed from a lot of Pokemon.
That said, I would have liked the TM, at least, so that I could transfer things.
No, I'm okay with the TM being gone because of the fact, it just kind of not everything gets stall, Seth.
Yeah. Seth.
We can't have stall for 400 years, Seth.
I mean, it still does, because transfer exists, but I would
in your meta.
I would have liked it removed from
your meta.
Yeah, in my meta. But I mean, you guys are playing VGC. How often is that used there? I don't know.
It was used a lot actually in Gen 7. Gen 7 slowed down a lot.
Okay.
Gen 7 slowed VGC, so Gen 6 VGC went blindingly fast.
Yeah, 5 turns and you're done.
You can be done in 2 to 5 turns, typically, I would say. if you went any longer than that. But in Gen 7, you could actually have matches go, I would say, like 15 turns, which is a lot for VGC in a 4v4, right? And so you could, mostly it's Celesteela's fault, but you could have that happen.
Which can't even get toxic anyway, so what's your point?
Well, because the Pokemon sitting next to Celesteela was being protected by Wide Guard using Toxic.
Yeah. No, I still, again, I remember we were sitting on the couch watching the post world qualifiers or whatever, national qualifiers, whatever. And Wolf got interviewed, like, yeah, I won because of Wide Guard. Like, that was his whole like speech, like, yeah, Wide Guard's a dumb move. That's why I won.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
And then Dragon Rage sounds cool, so I like it. Now I'm exhausted as 1 a.m. as of current time, so I'm going to say, catch you on the flip-flop, Pokemaster, signing out.
Yeah, I still agree with the Toxic. The Toxic being removed was really good.
I'd have liked it just dropped from movesets, not the TM. That's me.
I've said this in the past, Seth, and I'll say it again, because that's all this show is Thatch repeating himself.
Yeah.
But I really wish that there was a Smogon meta that utilized the moveset changes that we got in Sword and Shield, because they were far more drastic than previous generations.
Well, true. I agree. That would be cool. Like post-home or whatever.
Like, yeah, post Gen 8 or something movesets.
One of these days.
So anything that would be able, because you know how you can get like the battle ready mark?
Yeah.
In Sword and Shield? I would love for there to be a battle ready meta.
One of these days, there's going to be a moveset wipe when a Pokemon lands somewhere, I'm telling you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cause like the only good thing I liked about Toxic being a move on stuff was just like, oh, I have like 3 moves with like a Scarf set. Here's this Toxic or something. Like, get that last move. Which that's the only thing I really liked it for, and even then it wasn't really like, you never really clicked it usually. It's very rare.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I do not miss Toxic being on everything. I think being able to Toxic stall everything was toxic. Haha. But tis. All right. So we have one more email this week, and it is from Hobie1K.
All right. Hello, PUCL personnel who may be reading this. Hi. Hobie here, writing in once again. I hope you all had a good holiday season and wish you the best for 2021. I'll go ahead and jump into the mailbag question since it's not really the main topic of my email. The great move culling. I've been playing Pokemon since 1999, and I have never skipped jumping into the games as they released, besides Gen 7. Despite my Pokemon-rich history, if I was not plugged into Pokemon news outlets online, I would not have noticed anything missing. With the exception of Hidden Power, but I don't miss it in the least. It was just another barrier separating the people who could gen and those who could not. Like most people, I like to see those barriers coming down. So, now for the meat of why I wanted to write in. I'm very thankful for what all you at PUCL do for the community, but I want to thank you for something I didn't think you ever had intentions of doing in 2020. So, as mentioned earlier in the email, I skipped Gen 7. Life happens. Now it's late 2020. I bought myself a refurbished 2DS from Nintendo before they vanished. And I got my first Gen 7 game. Before jumping in, I dug back in the PUCL archive and pulled 3 or 4 episodes starting with the release of Sun and Moon. I listened to those episodes as I journeyed through Alola, and it was glorious. I've gone back and played games for the first time several years after they released, but that experience is never quite like playing one at launch. This time was different. Listening to you all get so excited and hyped over a new Pokemon game gave me the most genuine new game experience I could have ever had with a 4-year-old game. And that is priceless. You all keep doing what you do because people like me appreciated it, even if it's a little bit down the road. Sorry for the long email. I don't expect you to read it on the show. Haha, joke's on you, we did. Catch you on the flip-flop. Hobie 1000.
Hobie, no, 1K. Put the 1K. You say it. You read it. Like
Hobie 1000.
So, quick question: Can we give a second Green Tauros badge? Because I want to give that one too.
Yeah, sure. You know what? Second Green Tauros badge.
Happy New Year, double Green Tauros.
Double Green Tauros. Yay!
Don't expect it ever again. All right.
For dealing with this from 4 years ago.
For listening to us from 4 years ago. It's just because they complimented us, and that's why Shamu wanted to give it to them.
I really liked the compliment. It was a good one.
Oh my.
He's not wrong, Seth. It was a good compliment. All right. If you guys want to email us next week at PUCL, you can email us at puclpodcast@gmail.com, letting us know what is your favorite Pokemon game. That's what that boils down to, that topic today. What was your favorite Pokemon game? Send that in, puclpodcast@gmail.com, preferably with like a Y. Also, as we said beforehand, you can always send us in emails that have nothing to do with that question as well. Like today's topic came from Tia's email. It wasn't in the exact same spirit, but it helped. We will put that one somewhere because I think I want to do extended mailbag videos. So that's maybe what we'll do for that one. On that note, though, I think that's everything. So if you want to keep up with PUCL throughout the week, first and foremost, go check out our Discord server. The link is in the show notes. Just a heads up, we had to nuke all of our old invite links. So please, if you're going to do it, use the new link, not the old link.
The bot army came.
Yeah, we had to, because we had to, there was a bot army. It's fine. So we went ahead and wiped our invite links so that we could stop getting invaded by bots on our Discord server, because 1-inch drops are everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it was awful. It was awful. Also, if you want to listen to more PUCL goodness throughout the week, you can check out PUCL Plus over at PUCL Plus on wherever you listen to podcasts, like this one that you're listening to right now. Battlecast is over there. Game Corner's over there. A good number of things are over there. In addition, you can also go ahead and you can go ahead and listen to PUCL PTU as well if you want to listen to Shamu pull shenanigans.
Well, Seth too.
And me.
Seth. Yeah, Seth is there.
Double shenanigans.
Shamu, but mostly Shamu.
We kind of do that first trivia question because of PTU.
That's true. That's probably true. You can also go ahead and you can follow us over on social media over at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr. Make sure you check out our Twitch at twitch.tv/ThePuclPodcast to watch us do some fun things live. You can also go ahead and watch our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PuclPodcast. That's where I'm hoping to do extended mailbags because it's 2021. That's one of my New Year's resolutions in terms of content. And we're also going to be doing... I think that's everything. So yeah, if you want to support the show, though, go over to Twitch at twitch.tv/ThePuclPodcast. Drop a Twitch Prime subscription or an actual subscription, your choice. Our TeePublic Store, if you buy any shirt over there, you can go ahead and support the show. More importantly, if you would like to support the show most directly, you can go over to our Patreon at patreon.com/PuclPodcast. Get access to the bot, get access to giveaways and whatnot. It's a really good time. We really appreciate it. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and end the show here. Yeah. So I have been Trainer Thatch.
I've been Shamu.
And I've been Seth Vilo.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.